Dun da da da! The Daily Mail Tutorials. Today's tutorial is the Australian flag, mate. Okay, so let's get started. I've already painted my nail the base color of blue. I used MAC Breezy Blue. And next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some tape and I'm going to put it down the center of my nail lengthwise. And then I'm going to take another piece of tape and I'm going to cross that so I have a little rectangle in the upper corner of my nail. I'm going to take my Sally Hansen Xtreme Wear in white on, and I'm going to essentially recreate the Union Jack in the very corner of my fingernail. That's why we masked it off, so it doesn't leave a mess on the rest of the nail. So right now I'm just laying down the white borders, and so the red has something to stand out across or above. So I'm painting the main white crossed lines and get those opaque and straight. And now I'm going to take and I'm going to do diagonal lines in between both, or like one in each quarter, quadrant, whatever you want to call it. And go over a couple times just to make sure they're opaque so there's no blue showing through. Get that top one there. Alright, now I'm going to clean my brush out with acetone, and I'm going to get my red, which I'm using China Glaze Hey Sailor, and I'm going to put a little bit of that on my palette. So I'm going to take my nail art brush, and basically I'm going to do the same thing we did on the British flag nail. I'm going to draw a red line down the center of pretty much every white line. Well, not pretty much. I'm going to draw a red line down the center of each white line. The only ones that are going to intersect, though, are the two main ones, the first ones we drew. And since you have tape, you don't have to be neat on the ends. Like, they don't all have to match up. That's why we did the tape. So we could mask off the edges so they'd be straight when we're done. And since the diagonal lines don't touch the crossed bars, I'm going to do a little bit of way. So there's a way border. And get the upper ones. It's a lot harder doing this in such a small space instead of the whole nail. And we're kind of doing it in reverse because we're doing it the white over the blue instead of the blue over the white this time. So now that we have that painted, we can take the tape off. So I'm going to pull that off and you'll see that I have straight edges. See? Perfect. So get ready for a history lesson. Now we're going to paint the seven-sided star, also known as the Federation Star or the Commonwealth Star. It has 7 points. 6 of the points of the star represent the 6 original states of the Commonwealth of Australia, and the 7th point stands for its territories or any future states. So there you know, the more you grow. Unfortunately, 7-pointed stars are kind of a pain to paint. But we'll give it a whirl. What I do is I see arrows, so I'm going to point the arrows. So the first arrow points up towards the Union Jack, and then the other arrow points sideways, so it points to the left. Sorry, I'm looking at my iPad as I do this. I need a visual reference. So I'm just going to go over those lines and make them opaque. So right now we have a 6-pointed star. So I'm just going to add that 7th point in there. Yay! So we have our 7-pointed star. And next we're going to paint a couple more 7-pointed stars. One comes right at the base of the Union Jack to the right of it. So again, we're going to paint that arrow pointing up. And then the arrow pointing right. I need a smaller brush. The 7th point. And then there's one near the top of the Union Jack, but closer or further away from it. Closer, I was going to say closer to the end of my nail, but the flag doesn't actually have a finger, isn't the shape of a fingernail, so that doesn't help much. So doing the arrow up, arrow to the right. I'm going to go over it because it's hard to see. And then I'm going to add that 7th point in. So next I'm going to paint, there's one a little bit lower than the one at the base of the Union Jack and to the right of the one we last painted. So again, arrow pointing up, arrow pointing right, and 7th point. Last, there's one almost at the bottom, and it's just below the highest one. Again, arrow up, arrow right, and 7th point. And there is one 5-pointed star, and it's kind of not quite in the middle. It's just to the left of the second to last one we painted and just below it. And there you go. Next we're going to take our, actually I might want to go over that a little bit. Yeah. Make it a little more opaque. Make sure all of them are shining glisteningly bright. Make sure I get all the points on there. Alright. So next we're going to take our Seche Vite and put a coat of that on top of it to make it blindingly glossy. And to seal in all that hard work. And since I got a little on my cuticle, I'm going to take my flat bristled or stiff bristled flat edged brush with some acetone. I'm just going to go around the edges and clean up any of the mess that I made from the Seche Vite. And also when I did the Union Jack in the corner, I got a little on my cuticles. So I'm just going to clean that up real quick. Sorry. It's easier to go this angle. So there you have it, the Australian flag. Thanks for checking out this tutorial. If you want to see more crazy designs from pickles to pimples to Warhols, check out thedailynailblog.com or follow me on Twitter @dailynail.